Hi, and welcome to the Business Spotlight series. I'm Martin Bailey, and joining us today is Stephen Hughes, founder and MD of Mintly. Welcome, Stephen, and thank you for taking the time to join me today. How are you?
I'm great, Martin. Thank you for inviting me. Good to see you.
You're more than welcome. Really excited to hear your story and your journey and all about your business. So it's actually good point, that one. Let's start this all off by you telling us a bit about who you are and what you do.
Absolutely great place to start. Um, so what we do essentially is help our clients check bank account and sort code data so that there are fewer errors when setting up things like direct debits and payments into bank accounts. We also make sure that bank accounts support the right payment types that our clients need. And we do this by combining the algorithms that banks use to generate their account numbers, as well as our database of branch data. And that provides confidence and value to our customers.
Okay. Okay. And so is that the main services you do, or is there any other services you do over and above that?
That is the main service. We also do consultancy to help customers integrate this into their own business processes.
So is that a process, a system that they would then sign up to that they can bring into their own business that would just automatically their accounts team would go through that process?
Exactly, yeah. So we operate a subscription model. So uh, customers subscribe monthly to our system, and that gives access to our API. They can then integrate it via software, or we provide a portal where uh, data can be uploaded and analyzed, and then the results sent back to the user. So there's various ways that people can use it depending on their level of experience, whether they're tech savvy and can integrate it directly into their own software,
Yeah.
or whether they just want a portal to you know, type in the data.
So I suppose the benefit is because currently now, if I'm checking bank details or I want to set up a payment to somebody, I need to go into my banking app. My banking app then does that check, which is quite onerous. So I suppose the beauty of this is it allows them to do it a lot quickly without so many different levels of process to get to that point. Is that right?
Exactly, yeah. So the banks have access to this data, but regular other companies who also need to set up direct debits and make payments don't. So
Yeah.
that's where we come in. Um, so, for example, before setting up a direct debit, we can check that the sort code and account number are valid, and that the bank actually supports direct debit payments.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised at the number of time. I think there's a survey done by banks who process all the direct debits in the UK. There's a survey from a few years ago, and like 71% of all new direct debit instructions failed because of incorrect sort code and account numbers.
Wow. Okay. Well,
There's definitely a business problem there,
yeah.
which we're trying to solve.
Yeah. No, absolutely, and that's an interesting fact. So how long has the business been going now?
Yeah, so not very long. We started operating in April this year,
Okay, April. Yeah.
but in that time we've launched a great product, and now we're really reaching out, spreading the word, and telling everyone what we can offer and the benefits we can bring.
Okay, and how's that going for you?
Yeah, it's very exciting. Lots of different challenges. I've gone from you know there's just me in the business. So, I wear the sort of software engineering hats one day, and then next day I'm wearing the sales and marketing hat, and next day I'm doing the financials. So there's a lot of different roles which I have to do as the sole person in the business at the moment.
Mm. So how does that affect you in terms of managing your time and getting that work life balance? How do you find that? How do you manage that?
Yeah, it is a challenge. So I do try and separate that work time and family time. I do try and stick to 9 to 5 hours. Um, that helps with that side of things. It is a challenge then, within the working day to prioritize, what should I be doing? Is as a software engineer at heart, it's very tempting to say, I want to get stuck into the next technical problem and develop more features and do some exciting, interesting problem solving. But at the same time, I need to pay the bills and we need to generate more sales and we need to keep on top of the company's finances. So yeah, there's all those things which have to be done. I find creating a daily to-do list really helps keep you focused. So I'm almost like time boxing a plan for the day and saying, okay, I'm going to spend 2 hours doing this, 2 hours doing that, fit in a few meetings here and there with potential clients. And then the rest of the time I can spend, working on the next idea.
So how do you say what goes into those boxes of time? How do you say what's important?
Return on investment.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good place to start.
Yeah.
That's a good place.
Yeah, I think all of my time, I think any small business owner has to think, what's the biggest bang for my buck, right? I've only got so much time to spend, in a working week. I've got to pay myself at the end of the day. What's going to bring in that cash? Develop sales. Yeah, it's very tempting to just go off to the side and say, okay, I'll just invest my time developing something cool. But yeah, there's bills to be paid, so that has to come first. That's top priority, right?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So there's two things on that. I mean, there's this temptation to go and play with the sexy stuff that you enjoy doing,
Yeah,
and not all the stuff you don't enjoy doing. However, the stuff that you don't ignore that you don't enjoy doing is normally the important stuff.
exactly. Yeah.
And then there's the other thing about distractions. So what distractions take you away, or time bandits that distractions eat into the time that you've allocated to do other stuff as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so they're really important. So I mean, so you started business in April, which is really exciting. If you were to rewind back to square one when you were planning to start the business, what would you do differently now? Is there anything you would do differently?
Yeah, I think there is. At the start, I was very much focused on the technology and making that, really slick and performance, and that's great. But looking back, what I possibly should have done is, gone out to the market and said, found 100 people who are, biting my hand off to use this, right, and get them on board, get their feedback and help, get them to help me build my products. Doing that retrospectively, I've got something that's valuable to sell, and then I have to talk to people and say, this is why you need this product. Perhaps doing it the other way around and saying, right, tell me what your problems are, and build something that that solves that. That would be a great thing to do.
Okay.
Next time.
So do you think you went cart before horse rather than horse before cart?
To some degree, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I certainly know that having customers on, having those customers early, even though you don't have a product, is super valuable, right? At least you know that your market exists, and you're saying, right, I've got a list, I've got a waiting list of people who want to buy my product or service. That's really reassuring and motivating.
So there's a bit around market research, is what you're saying. So to actually get some decent market research done before you start building your product.
Yeah, I think that's critical. And I did have market research. I built a business plan. But yeah, I think I should have invested more time doing that, because it would have really guided the product development, and getting that customer feedback is really important.
Yeah, no, I agree. And market research is invaluable, as you said, because if you've got that market research, you're building a product that's fit for purpose to a large one, a wide range of people.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm assuming by the way you're talking, I'm assuming you've got a feeling that there's more product development you can do with your product right now, but you've taken it as far as you need to take it to get it into market.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've built a minimum viable product. It adds value. At the moment, we just cover the UK and Ireland, but there's definitely scope to cover Europe and the rest of the world.
So it can go global.
There's also scope to do confirmation of payee. So that's making sure that a bank account matches up with the person's name who owns that account. So there's lots of cool, sexy technology stuff that we can do to expand what we've done. But getting customers on board and seeing the value that we have got already is at the moment sort of top priority.
Yeah, okay. So it's interesting because you talked about financials and that being one of the hats you got to wear. What advice would you give to new business owners regarding financial management?
I think getting to grips with accounting basics early on um, is really key, and making a business plan and sticking to it. It's really useful to know the basics of profit and loss and balance sheets, um, so that you can have conversations with your accountant, but also know day to day, what your income and expenditure is.
So how important is it do you feel it is that you get that information and review it frequently?
Yeah, really important.
Yeah.
You need to know the rate that you're spending. Um, yeah, the business's money. You need to balance that. So I think that influences what I do day to day. I can spend my time developing, which costs money, or sales and marketing, which again costs money, but hopefully brings money in as
Oh yeah,
well.
you should always get a return on investment on
Yeah,
that. Absolutely.
absolutely.
So how did you get your head around balance sheets and profit and loss, and how did you sort of get yourself sort of fluent in those topics?
Yeah, so I've been, attended some webinars. There's one recently run by an accountancy firm in Cambridge, which is really good. It was kind of geared towards, startups and entrepreneurs. Here's some basic, accounting principles that you need to be aware of. And that was an amazing course to go on. Really, really useful.
Okay, cool. So basically, look for self learning or self help
Absolutely, yeah,
to
yeah.
get
And
you.
I think that's one of the things that I've learned is I'm not great at everything, but I have to do lots of things. So I have to learn all these new skills. And luckily, I love learning. So yeah, I'm quite happy to put that time in to learn those financial skills or learn those sales and marketing skills, which probably not first nature to me. But yeah, I really love getting into new things and developing my skills.
No, fantastic, fantastic. So where do you see yourself in about 5 years' time then?
Yeah, I think there's huge potential, and 5 years' time, I imagine the business, having that global reach, so expanding, throughout, covering Europe and then globally. We'd love to be the leader in what we do, and that will involve getting lots more clients and really improving our products and developing them. I think if I was to think of advice to give to other business owners looking to grow, it would be, you don't have to rely on, doing everything yourself, right? You can reach out to people, get help. If it's sales and marketing or you need that financial help, go out and get some. Because, as a small business owner, you can't do everything all of the time.
No. Have you done that yourself? Have you outsourced some stuff and got some help?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've got some help with sales and marketing, and that's helped. Yeah, and I find you just ask people, and they're happy to help.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah, absolutely. So good. So go and surround yourself with people that are willing to help and support you. Is
Yeah, definitely.
there. Um, so I mean, you're obviously starting to grow.
Yeah.
So what do you attribute that growth to?
I think having a great product um, is the first thing, and then building trust as well. I think is key. So when I'm bringing people on board with what we do, it's as they always say, people sell to people, right? So you're not just buying a fancy new piece of technology. You've got to buy into me, into what I believe in, and how I can, how I feel I can um, help our customers. So yeah, I think that growth is a great product, and you know I guess me, but ultimately a great team, right? And being able to build that trust with your customer base.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely spot on. So I mean, they say buying or buying is an emotional response.
Yeah,
It's not a logical response; it's an emotional response. So therefore, the know, like, and trust element is essential in terms of that emotional response. So they've got to have that relationship with you and trust that relationship to then make the emotional response to buy from you. So I think you're absolutely right.
Exactly.
Now, so and how have you focused on that in terms of your sales? What sort of stuff have you done to try and make sure you get that across?
Yeah. So whenever we have, someone who's interested, I'm very keen to, meet them, face to face or on video, and demonstrate what our product does, how it can really add value, uh, show them how flexible it is, and really almost find out what their business problem is.
Right. Okay.
And because that's key, um, your product might not be what they're looking for, and that in that instance, it's like, yeah, okay, this isn't going to fit with your business. That's fine, but finding out what the problem is, then you can say, right, we've got exactly the right solution for you. This is how it will fit in. We can help you do that.
Okay, great. No, and that's absolutely right. It's important that you find the challenge, or I suppose the pain point that business is fitting, and then you demonstrate how you are the answer or the solution to that pain or that challenge.
Exactly. Yeah. Some of our clients, they have, you know, hundreds of failed payments, and it costs them time and money, as much as £100 per payment to rectify that. That involves people going back through records, fixing them manually, calling up customers to correct the details. So that's the huge pain point. It's the time and money that companies have to spend fixing this data that could have been checked pretty quickly.
Even better, but it sounds like if you can get them to tell you how much money and time they spend on it, you can show them what their return on investment is almost immediately.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very simple equation. Just how many failed payments do you have? How long does it take you to fix them? This is what we can offer at a very compared to what you're spending. It's huge.
And in business, there's only one thing that's more of a motivator than know, like, and trust, and that's return on investment.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, fantastic. Like, Stephen, this has been brilliant. There's absolutely gold in amongst there for a number of business owners, especially those that are starting up, because you're quite fresh out the blocks, which is great. Look, thanks for giving me your time today. It's been fantastic. I've thoroughly enjoyed talking to you. I wish you all the best in your journey. I'm sure it's going to be a massive success. Thank you very much.
No, thank you, Martin. It's been great talking to you.
And you. Speak to you soon.
Yep.